Well, as a potentially deadly hurricane bears down on Florida, time is running out for people to evacuate. Thank you for joining us for Fox 13 News at 5. I'm Matthew Smith.
And I'm Hannah Kim. Milton is now a massive Category 5 storm, doubling in size and threatening Florida's central Gulf Coast. This is a time-lapse video from space. It was taken from the International Space Station this afternoon by astronaut Matthew Dominic. It could be one of the most destructive storms on record. Just looking at that gives you chills.
Absolutely. NOAA's hurricane hunters went to gather more information on the storm. Look at this incredible video. They have to actually fly through the eye of the storm. And as it stands now, Milton's large eye and eye wall seem to be heading towards the Tampa Bay area. It is a dangerous possibility as it is set to unleash a record storm surge.
Hurricane Milton is expected to make landfall Wednesday night. Officials are urging Floridians to evacuate, warning lives are at risk. Highways right now are jammed. Gas is running low. Just 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene caused chaos, we now have 51 counties are under a state of emergency, and President Biden has signed a disaster declaration to help with response efforts.
FEMA, we work with them, some of the urban search and rescue. A lot of those people are in Florida anyways, but we're also bringing them in from around the country.
I've spoken to all the political leaders in the region, some of them more than once, and I've told them anything they ask for they can get.
The president says the area will get everything it needs to ramp up and rescue and recovery efforts quickly. But FEMA is still reeling from Hurricane Helene, where responders are struggling to reach remote areas cut off by flooding and power outages there. Meanwhile, Milton is expected to bring intense winds and critical storm surge that could lash areas, again, already devastated by Hurricane Helene several days ago.
So we do have team coverage tonight. Lloyd Sowers is in Tampa, but we're going to start with our meteorologist, Alona McCauley.
Yeah, folks, this is back-to-back huge major hurricanes that we're talking about. As you just mentioned a short time ago, it was only 2 weeks ago that we were talking about Helene making landfall, and now here is Milton, a strong Category 5 storm with winds of 165 miles an hour and gusts up to 200 miles an hour. So as we put the track into motion here, it is showing that right now the forecast would be that it weakens ever so slightly before making landfall. And right now the path is just slightly to the south of Tampa Bay, but as we well know, there's still that cone of uncertainty that anything within this region is very fair game, and folks are heeding the warnings and getting out to try to protect themselves before the storm rolls in. This is the future cast with that storm coming on shore. As of right now, it looks like it would make landfall right around 7 to 8 o'clock. Of course, there's a little bit of a time window that we give ourselves to see if it speeds up or slows down just a bit, but it would be making landfall right around 7 or 8 o'clock our time here, Pacific time, and then crosses back out into open water by 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So what are the potential impacts of Milton? We're talking about that landfall coming on shore tomorrow evening. As we just saw a short time ago, there's a lot of debris still left over from Helene. This is going to spare Carolina and Georgia, so they're going to continue to see the cleanup effort going on there, but we're talking about big storm surge, 10 to 15 feet there, and also the possibility for some huge rainfall totals, anywhere from about a foot to maybe even up to 18 inches. Joining me right now from Tampa is Lloyd Sowers. Now, Lloyd, we're seeing a lot of that video with those lines of cars. Are the folks there in Tampa heeding the warnings this time and getting out?
Well, Alona, I think it's the largest evacuation that I've seen from the Tampa Bay area, and I've been reporting on the west coast of Florida for about 40 years, and it's the largest I've ever seen. Tens of thousands of people hitting the road after mandatory evacuations in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, down through Sarasota and Bradenton. I have some video to show you. You got a sampling of it just a little while ago. The Hurricane Hunter plane, this plane based in Lakeland, through Milton, I'm sorry, I got the name wrong, through Milton today, and you can see him shaking up a little bit here. Mentioned the people trying to get out of town. The interstates were jammed today, bumper-to-bumper traffic at times on I-75, headed north out of Florida, and also I-4 headed up towards Orlando. Even some people evacuating to the Jacksonville area and points north up into Florida. As you mentioned, you know, there's debris left over, stacks of debris from Helene just 2 weeks ago. And we talked to some folks who've had to evacuate twice, and also some folks who are facing down another storm. Frustration. We talked to a building manager on Clearwater Beach. Here's what he had to say.
In fact, everything that you're looking at here was about 4 feet underwater, all the way. Entire beach got dumped all the way through to the front and all the way through the garage. So while we were happy to get it all cleaned up in a week's time, as you see, this next storm has us all worried that everything we did is just going to get pushed back.
Yeah, I could just imagine having to do it all again. Imagine what's left of your home from Helene now being destroyed the rest of the way by this one. Gas lines, gas stations closed down today, out of gas. Now, the governor, Ron DeSantis, has said that the pipeline is not off, that Florida is still getting a supply of fuel, and that there will be gas at the gas station. Many people stay. They refuse to heed the evacuation order, and what authorities tell them, Lona, is if you choose to stay, you're kind of on your own. We're not going to be able to come back and get you during the height of this storm when things get dangerous. So we will see people staying, but again, we have seen tens of thousands of people take those mandatory evacuation orders seriously, all the way down through Sarasota and Bradenton. Remember, it's the south end of that storm, the south tip of that storm that could get the worst weather. Sarasota, Bradenton bracing for this as well. Just hundreds of thousands of people here on the west coast of Florida facing down a very dangerous storm, Alona.